A comment that I recently got on one of my videos asked me, is being a CRNA scary? And I felt that it was such a good question and a question that I wanted to make a video about, because I know before becoming a CRNA, I definitely wondered, is being a CRNA scary? So I'm pretty sure most people who want to become a CRNA or are thinking about being a CRNA wonder, is being a CRNA scary? So in general, CRNAs have a great amount of autonomy. We get to put the patient asleep, and then just during the case, we're responsible for choosing which drugs to give the patient, which dose to give the patient, and then we're also responsible for timing the patient's wake up so they're not waking up too early, where it's still the surgeon and first assist are working on the patient, but not too late, so it's the end of the case and the patient still isn't breathing and isn't able to be extubated. So there's just a lot of responsibility that a CRNA has. And to be completely honest, before starting CRNA school and starting to be a CRNA student in the OR, I didn't even understand just how complex and how much responsibility was truly in the hands of the CRNA. So to answer the question, is being a CRNA scary? I would have to say, for myself right now, I've been a practicing CRNA for between 1.5 years to almost 2 years. It's not scary, just because I go into work every day knowing that I had adequate training. I've had a decent amount of experience now that I trust myself. I have a confidence in my skills. So it's not scary going into work every day. Like, I don't go into work so scared, and I'm not like sitting in my car before my shift crying and just anxious and feeling sick to my stomach because I'm so scared. Like, I don't have that at all, which I'm so thankful for. And I also know that I trust myself to recognize any issues that are going on with the patient and being able to know what my plan A is, what my plan B is. And also I have a supportive staff of other CRNAs, of anesthesiologists who are supportive and wanting to help and provide the best care for the patient in like an emergency situation. So I have a great team of backup people who are there to support me if I need extra hands during a case. But when I was in training to become a CRNA, it definitely was scary. The idea of being a CRNA on my own in the OR by myself without like having a person like right over my shoulder to help me was very scary. And just the idea of being completely on my own in the OR was scary. During school, I lived with 6 of my classmates at one time. And right before the first day of our official clinicals, like we hadn't been in clinicals yet, the day before, we were all just so scared, so anxious, so nervous, and just like talking about it, just because we were at a point in our like student journey where we had the book knowledge, we recognized like all the things that could go wrong. We learned about the different algorithms and steps for emergencies in the OR, but we hadn't actually seen it in practice in an actual hospital setting with an actual patient. So just already knowing all the things that could go wrong, and now we're being exposed to the hospital and those things could actually happen, was very scary for us. Even as a practicing CRNA it's been almost 2 years coming up, I definitely get nervous. I get nervous when I am doing a case that I've never done before or that I haven't done in a really long time. I get nervous taking care of pediatric patients, just because I just know with pediatric patients that they can go south very quickly, whereas with adults, it's usually a slower decline. A lot of decline for adults isn't like rapid. You can kind of have like clues and notice something's going on and try to fix it, whereas like with pediatric patients, it's pretty like quick. Like if there's a problem, they start going downhill pretty quickly. Which can make you just very nervous knowing that. Even during school, one of the experienced preceptors that I was with, who was about to retire, who had a bunch of pediatric experience, had worked with peds all through her career, said she still gets nervous occasionally working with pediatric patients just because she knows how fragile they can be, and they're just like these delicate little babies that you want to protect. So doing their anesthesia, knowing things could go south quickly is scary. But even though I am occasionally nervous, I know that with cases that I haven't done before, there's different apps. And not only are there like resources online to look at if I'm not familiar with a case, I also have coworkers I can ask who are more experienced than I am or have been working at that specific hospital or outpatient center longer than I have and done the surgery a couple of times. I can ask them, how do you usually do it? Do you deep extubate the patient? Like, what drugs do you normally give? What works for you for this case? And then I can just kind of copy it. If it works for them, it hopefully will work for me. But of course, every patient's different, but usually you can get a good general idea of what usually works for the majority of patients. And in general, just being a CRNA, you always have to be hyper aware constantly. Because no matter how sick the patient is or healthy the patient is, something can always go wrong. If you let your guard down when you're taking care of like a healthy young patient who doesn't have any health history and just think it's gonna go smooth and then it doesn't, it can really throw you off. So that's why with any case, any surgery, you always have to think of, okay, what could go wrong in this situation? Okay, what risks are involved with this surgery that I need to be aware of? And then if something happens, like what is my plan A? What is my plan B? And just going into any case, just always having like, what's my plan A if this happens? What's my plan B if this happens? So in conclusion, being a new CRNA or being an SRNA is pretty scary. You're at a point in your career where you recognize the responsibility that you have and how it can affect the patient's outcome. But once becoming a more experienced CRNA, and by that, I just mean at least having like 6 months of experience on your own, it's definitely less scary, but there's always some nervousness that you'll likely feel just depending on what new cases you may do. So I hope this video is helpful for anyone that has been wondering if being a CRNA is scary. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.